This is the movies. This is the latest from Peter Molyneux and Lionhead Studios. This puts you in the role of a movie studio boss, an executive. And it also lets you make your own movies with a really deep and really sophisticated movie-making tool. So if you're way into like machinima, if you like that kind of stuff, it's really easy to make your own thing, and you can even put your own voice work over it. The problem with the movies inherently is that it has this really good part where it's a fun, fairly standard tycoon game. Just business management. You hire people, you fire people, you build up your studio lot, you put sets, facilities, you get like researchers, you do all the things that you would do as a movie studio executive. But there's a big disconnect between that and the actual movie making. You can actually go through the whole game, if you like, not making your own movies at all, and just treat it as a straight up tycoon game, which lasts about 20 hours or so. And that part's fun, but those two pieces never come together. The movie making process in the movies is pretty intuitive. It's all kind of drag and drop. There are little pre-recorded sections that you can choose from, and there's a lot of them. There's dozens and dozens for different scenarios, for the different sets that you can choose. And there are also dozens of different sets ranging from Wild West to sci-fi, suburban homes. So you can put your movie in just about anywhere that you like. And you can also get really, really detailed with how you make your movies. It actually scales really nicely. If you want to be really simple and I want to drag this scene and I want to take this actor and put it in here into this scenario, I want to make a fight scene between these two guys, or I want to make a love scene between this couple, you can do it really simply, or you can get really detailed as to what their emotions are, what their mood is. And so the movie making stuff is quite exceptional, really. It's pretty impressive at how much depth they give you, and at the same time how accessible it is. That said, it is really hard to make something that's really worth watching. You can make stuff that's kind of fun for you and it's enjoyable to toy around with, but to make something that's really, really good, it does take a fair amount of work. Once you finish making one of your movies in the game, you can choose to export it, which you can then actually upload the file to the movie's website, where you can share it with everyone else. Everyone else can download it, look at it, talk about it. There's already quite a few people who are doing this right now with the game, even though it's just come out. And I see that as being, the community side of it is going to be a big deal for this game. I find that the movie-making stuff is a lot of fun, but really the main tycoon game, the main part of it where you build up your studio, because the way the game works is that you start off in the 1920s, and you kind of go through the history of Hollywood, changing technology, going through different eras. There are different eras where there's different popularities and genres, so the kind of scripts that you produce and then the kind of movies that you in turn produce will change based on what's popular. And it's just a lot of fun hiring, firing staff. You get people that come into your lot and they want to be a movie star, so you make them into an actor and you build them up. And if you decide you don't like them anymore, you turn them into a janitor. And you take one of the janitors and you turn them into the new movie star. And that stuff's a lot of fun, just kind of, it has that sort of God game thing that has made a lot of the Lionhead games really enjoyable. And there is a fair amount of depth to the way that the talent in the main game of the movies acts. People have egos. You have, your directors, your actors. They will, want trailers. They will want entourages. They will want to have a bigger salary because their last movie did really good. And having to sort of juggle all of that stuff while at the same time trying to make movies, turn a profit, it keeps you really involved. But it also, again, it scales. If you want to keep it simple, you can slow it down. I want to make one movie at a time. Just hire a couple of actors, take it real slow. You can do that. That's feasible. But if you want to crank out, you want to have 6 movies coming out every calendar year. You've got a dozen actors on your roster. You've got extras. You've got a bunch of directors. You've got a whole room of script writers who are sitting there cranking out a bunch of stuff. You can do that as well. And so I find that to be one of the best features in the movies. I think there's phenomenal value in the movies. The Tycoon game itself is enjoyable. It's a good 20-hour run. It's a lot of fun. But the movie-making stuff could offer an unlimited amount of time for you to go and make your own movies and really explore the tools. And with the amount of sets they have, it's really, sky's the limit on that stuff. There is a Sims-like appeal to the movies. It even also kind of shares that same visual style and that sort of jaunty, upbeat vibe overall. people who enjoy that kind of game are going to like it. Tycoon fans will probably enjoy it, though it might not quite be as in-depth or lengthy an experience as some tycooners are used to. But I think this has a really broad interest level. People interested in all sorts of games can probably get into this really easily.